What is up, guys? Welcome to the Work Toward Wonder podcast. We are so excited for today. We are going to recap 2025. So let's get into it. Guys, congratulations. You have made it through 2025. I don't think I like the word made it, because I feel like we shouldn't be trying to make it through, but we should be enjoying every moment and just seeing and allowing God to work in it. So you have finished 2025, but 2026 is coming, and we are beyond excited to see how it goes. I'm so grateful for this year, this podcast, and everything that has happened, and it just has blown my mind. So first of all, thank you guys. And then we are back where it started. We have Morgan on to end the year. She was our first episode ever, and so now it felt fitting to finish out the year with her. So today we're just going to do a 2025 recap and review, some of our favorite things, some of our hardest things, some of things that we failed at, but some things we accomplished at, and then just how good God has been through it all. So the first question I'm going to ask is, what moment of wonder stuck out to you the most?
What moment of wonder? Okay, hang on. Let me move to
It's further down the list. That's my bad.
Okay, here we go. If y'all don't know, my mom passed away in September. And so this year, I'm going to say, has been one of the hardest years of my life. I'm not going to lie. So what moment of wonder stuck out to me the most is when my mom passed away. I thought people would look at me as weak and just kind of fragile. And instead, God gave me strength. Yeah. And he used me to show my strength to other people. And I think it's a true example of how God can turn tough situations into good. Yeah. And I don't know how many notes and comments from my new volleyball team that I got of you are the strongest person I've ever met in my entire life. And you show such a light to people around. And so, I mean, that's the moment of wonder that struck me, is how strong God is. Yeah. And he can give you the strength to get through so many hard things. Yeah. And it felt like what moment should be the hardest point in my life turned out he gave me my mom's strength. Yeah. And showed it to other people. So yeah,
that's amazing. And we walked through this together, and the way that Morgan handled heartbreak, how she allowed herself to feel the emotions, but then allowed God to give her that peace and strength. It was amazing to watch. That was so good. Well, I'll go ahead and share mine. The moment of wonder that stuck out to me was actually at my church camp this summer, and I've talked about this a little before. But we had I think it was around 20 people that from just my youth group that were filled with the Holy Spirit. And this moment was so amazing, and just seeing how God can move and work through that, it was crazy. We were in there for hours, and people were praying over each other. I got to see my brother feel the Holy Spirit, speak in tongues, go and pray over someone else, amazing stuff. And that was just the wonder that stuck out to me, is that we weren't forcing it. The night wasn't even supposed to end like this, but just the way that God's Spirit moved, that was so wonderful. But that was my moment of wonder.
It's powerful.
Yeah, it was crazy. Okay, so we're just gonna kick it off with, we'll start with good. What was the greatest accomplishment that you had?
Okay, greatest accomplishment. I worked really, really hard to get my volleyball scholarship. And I mean, it's a God-given gift that I'm able to play. But obviously it doesn't come, just to you. You have to go get it. Yeah. And so I worked to get this scholarship. And even after my mom passed, people would make comments of, I wouldn't even go back to college. Yeah. I wouldn't do it. Yeah. I wouldn't do that. And I'm like, I worked so hard for this. And if I didn't go back, my mom would be so mad.
That's so true.
She would be so mad if I didn't go back. But that would be my greatest accomplishment, is just working really hard and fulfilling God's plan for my life.
Yeah, that's really good. I would say my greatest accomplishment is it's probably this podcast and starting Work Toward Wonder. I got to speak at multiple places. I got to speak at a conference, got to host a podcast, crazy stuff. Got to meet a whole bunch of great people who love the Lord. And so that would have to be my greatest accomplishment. The thing about our accomplishments is God, it was all God. And but it didn't come without work. You can't, faith without works is dead. And so we can't just believe that this stuff's going to happen without putting in the work. And so the consistency that it took, the hard work it took, the effort, the intentionality is really what got us to our greatest accomplishments this year.
Yes.
And then on the opposite side of greatest accomplishment, what do you feel like your biggest failure was this year?
My biggest failure is I did not reflect Jesus as much as I should to one of my roommates. I had, she's gone back home now. One of my roommates in college, she was not the best person. She didn't make me feel comfortable in my space, and instead of like showing Jesus, I kind of blocked her out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think my biggest failure was not reflecting Jesus in a way, not showing her God's love and God's forgiveness.
Yeah.
And I have forgiven her. I have. But I think that was my biggest failure.
Yeah. No, I understand. It's so hard. But the good thing about God is that when we talk about our biggest failures is that there's always a redemptive path. There's the story of, not the story, but the reality of the Bible is that it is a love story, it is a redemptive story. And so no matter how many times that we fail or mess up, the grace of God is there. And so I would say my biggest failure, it's not as deep, that sounds so bad, but my biggest failure honestly was keeping my room clean. And that sounds like so cliche, but my goal in 2025 was to keep my room clean and keep it a sanctuary for the Lord, and that did not happen, like, at all. I make a 2025 list. I made it last year, and that was one thing. Keeping my room clean and making my bed did not happen. And so my biggest failure was definitely that this year. I hope to do better at that, and my mom probably hopes I do better at that too. But yeah. Let's talk about miracles. God is still doing miracles today. He is still working. He is still has not left us. And so what was your biggest miracle of 2025?
I really don't know, like, big miracle wise, but I think it's a miracle of how much time and how much quality time I got to spend with my mom.
Yeah.
Especially, she got to see me graduate. She got to see my last prom, and she got to go on vacation one more time, and it felt nice having her around. I think that was the biggest miracle, of just having one last big moment.
Yeah.
And so
that's amazing how God blesses you with that. And I want to tell you guys that miracles, I was trying to think of like the biggest miracle I could think of that happened this year. And miracles, yes, are healing an injury or healing a sickness. Obviously. Or there's big miracles that God can do, but there's also miracles in the mundane. And when we follow Christ, there's so many, don't miss your miracle because you're frustrated with being in the mundane.
Absolutely.
So my biggest miracle of 2025 was seeing our church, one, grow exponentially, but two, we had around 50 baptisms this year, and we're having baptism Sunday again. But that was my biggest miracle. And I didn't even have anything, like, my hand wasn't in it, but seeing God move and do that amazing thing, and seeing so many people come to know Christ, and seeing our pews filled. And actually one of my little freshman friends are getting baptized on Sunday, and I'm beyond ecstatic. And this was one that I did get to have a one-on-one conversation with, what does God mean to you? And she would ask me questions, and I was able to answer her. And honestly, the beauty of salvation is a miracle in itself. The beauty that God sent his son, as we are closing out the Christmas season, that he sent his son down to earth, not as a giant ruler, but as a humble babe, so that we could be saved. And how God works humbly through people, and his beautiful, it's all so beautiful. So I think definitely do this Christmas season seeing the miracle of Christ. It's a miracle every time, but also just seeing the miracle that God is doing within every one of us. So on top of the biggest miracle, this is kind of part of it, but how did you see God move in your life?
Oh gosh, where's that at?
It should be right under the miracle one. Yeah, right there.
Oh yeah. Okay. So sorry. I just saw God move by giving me and my family strength to get through one of the hardest times of our lives.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just kind of my story for 2025 is the strength. But that's, and then, yeah, what you mentioned, the baptisms, that is a huge God move.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's amazing. And I just think he's just so powerful, and he's so humble with everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just giving my family strength to get through this time.
Yeah. And we're just picking out like our biggest moments, but God, like the things God has done, like I can't even count them, and I can't even fathom them. Just how has been moving with our community, within the world, just seeing people being bold with their faith, people standing up for what they believe in. I would say the biggest way that I've seen God move is within our own youth group, seeing it not only just grow, but grow in depth. And even if the numbers aren't there, the depth of our girls are so amazing. I had this one girl who moved here, I want to say 2 years ago, but she moved here, and she was one of those girls who came in and you're like, oh, I'm going to avoid her at all costs. Like, I don't want to be friends with her. She's just not someone that seemed like godly or whatever. And she would tell you this. I'm not talking bad, but the way that God has stepped into her life and changed it radically. Her testimony is amazing. Like, she was in a place like on her deathbed, and the way that God has radically redeemed her life and turned around, the surrender and the obedience that she has is just so amazing. And that's just one example of a way that God is moving. But seeing, like I said, at church camp, all these people getting filled with the Holy Spirit, seeing kids raising their hands in worship, getting on their knees in worship, and not be ashamed of God and everything that he's doing. And so that would be how I've seen God move, is moving in this generation. So many people say that this generation is the biggest failure, or this generation is this, or this generation is that. But this generation is seeking something because they're tired of the fake. I'm tired of the fake. My friends are tired of the fake. They want something real, and they're starting to find that the real thing is Jesus Christ. And the boldness and the passion, I haven't seen anything like this. And so that is the coolest thing. The biggest thing in 2025 is just seeing how God has moved miraculously within my peers around me.
Yeah.
Okay, this is kind of like a 2-in-1. I'm going to combine two questions. But what is the best piece of advice you learned, and what was the Bible verse that you clung to?
The best piece of advice that I've learned. Never go through life dying. Never do it. Never live so scared of everything. I just say live the life that God planned for you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're here to live and to show people God's love. Don't live like everything is just surrounding you.
Yeah, and that everything's like coming at you, or that you feel like a failure, like the enemy's attacking you.
Exactly.
But living on the offense. As Christians, we're not meant to live on the defense. Our God has claimed the victory. We have the keys to death and Hades.
Exactly.
And so instead of being like, oh my gosh, my life sucks, I keep doing this, and da da da, and life is hard, and I love Jesus, but this all sucks, and like living out of the grace and the mercy and the excitement for what God is doing. That's so
Absolutely.
good.
Yeah. Bible verse I clung to it's so simple. It's Jeremiah 29:11. And not only like it's what you wrote on my car before I left for college. Okay, and it's also my mom's favorite Bible verse. So it kind of just clung to me forever. And it's like I just need to live God's plan.
Yeah.
It's what I need to do.
Yeah.
He's not gonna give me a life of like, a life to destroy you.
Yeah.
But he's gonna give you tough situations to make you stronger and get through life even better. Yeah. It's just how it is.
That's like so good. I love, like, you said it was a simple verse, but truly the idea of it is so complex. That trusting a God that you can't physically see, believing in a faith that seems like it's the faith that's in the gap between what God has promised and what you have when you have received it. But just the ability to trust God in that is the hardest thing, and being able to be like, God, I trust you when it doesn't make sense, and I trust you when I'm stepping into college, and I trust you when I'm trying to pick a career path, and I trust you when I'm losing friends and family, and just things like that. And I feel like that is such a good verse to cling to, and a lot of people overlook it. But truly, God's given you a huge plan for your life, and it's not to destroy you. It's not to hurt you. And what may seem like is hurting right now, God is using and turning it for good. There was never a thing that happened to you, and never a thing that will ruin God's plan for you. And so anytime that you can just come back and be like, God, I surrender it all, and how you can never mess up his plan, and it's just something that nothing can change. And so knowing that, and just that obedience, which is kind of the best piece of advice that I learned this year, is no step of obedience is ever wasted. And I feel like a lot of times had a really bad habit of saying this when I was a few years ago. I would just say, I'm never going to be nice anymore because it never works out. I would loan someone a shirt and then I would never get it back. Or I would help somebody with homework and they would tell everybody else, and now everyone's asking. Like, there's just there's things that have happened and I'm like, I'm never going to be nice again because it always backfires. And I just remember God saying, like, Gracyn, no step of obedience, no step of kindness, no step of giving someone else a blessing is ever wasted. I see that. He sees that, and our reward in heaven is going to be great. And not to say that there will be no reward on earth, but truly is like my obedience is to honor God. It's not for my own gain. But the crazy thing that I've seen is that God is working through my obedience. He's opening doors and he's shutting other doors. And I just recently had something happen, and I just like felt God telling me, like, your obedience and your faith has led you to this moment. And I'm like, thank you, Jesus, that what seemed like a waste of time, what seemed like impossible things that I had done, and I was just like, I quit. Like, I'm done being nice, and I'm done serving, and I'm done helping. God's like, Gracyn, don't quit, because there's a promise on the other side of your obedience. And so that was something that I've clung to that has really changed my life. But then my Bible verse is Esther 4:14. Perhaps you were born for such a time as this.
Yes.
And just her story is like one of my favorite Bible stories.
I love Esther.
It's just so amazing how God takes someone like Esther and puts her through these trials with the boldness that she has. And so many people are like, oh, I'm just a girl, like I can't do anything for the kingdom. But like, no, you are a girl who can change the world. You're a woman empowered by God, and he can use you in amazing and mighty ways. And so that's just this story. Like, as all of Esther, actually this year got to see it at Sight and Sound Theater, like in person. It was so cool.
So good.
Like, first of all, the outfits, but like then just the way to see the Bible come to life is just so amazing. And just honestly, sometimes I picture myself in Esther's shoes. No, I'm not facing death. No, I'm not facing things like that. But just like standing up for somebody at school, or speaking out boldly about something, just knowing that God's got my back and that he's got everything that happens, will happen, has happened, that he has all under control. So just that verse is that anytime I'm going through something, like, this is happening because God has placed you in this time. He didn't place me 20 years earlier. I used to say, oh, I would thrive back then because no phones, fun fashion, things like that. But honestly, God has placed me here in this moment for a purpose. He has placed you in this moment for a purpose. He has knit you together in your mother womb. He has a plan for you. And it's just so crazy kind of how our verses kind of like collided. We're both in the same kind of frame of life. And so just seeing God work through our obedience, our purpose to follow his plan, and then just believing that God has got everything under control.
Yes.
What did you learn? This question is kind of similar, but what did you learn about who God is this year?
I've learned he is the comforter.
Yeah.
He is the comforter.
Yeah.
And he will never leave us.
Yeah.
He will never leave us. In times where you think that everything is falling down, you can lean on him. He's always going to be there.
Yeah.
And I remember moments like in the week of all the stuff going on, I would be in my room and I would bawl and I would cry because there's so many moments that I was just anxious for. I was like, my mom got to see me graduate, but she's not going to see my brother graduate college.
Yeah.
She's not going to see my brother get married. She's not going to see me get married. She's not going to zip up my wedding dress. And I think like those moments hit me the most.
Yeah.
But yet when I'm laying in bed and I'm crying and I'm praying, I just feel this overwhelming peace over me that everything is going to be okay. Yeah. Everything's going to be okay. And she is living more than we are down here. I mean, she is living the life. Yeah. But I mean, he is just the comforter. Yeah. That's amazing. I can't explain it more.
Yeah. No, that's so good. Mine's super close to that, but God, I have learned this year that he cares about every detail of my life. And I remember, I think it was softball season. We were just praying over something, and I was like, does God even care if I win this game? Like, does he even care? But he cares about you, and he cares about every detail of your life. I recently was applied for a scholarship, and it was funny because it was at a Christian college, but every single person was praying for the same thing.
Yeah.
And I caught myself and I was like, I don't even want to pray anymore, because does he even care? Like,
Yeah.
if everyone's grandma and their mother and their great aunt is praying for them to get the scholarship, like, I just kind of felt lost. And I just remember God telling me, Gracyn, I have given you the dream and the vision to do this. I'm going to provide a way.
Exactly.
And it may not look like the scholarship, but I'm going to provide a way. So don't stop praying.
Mhm.
Don't stop chasing after this dream of yours. And I had so much peace about it. I was like, God, you care for every detail. You care if my ankle hurts, or you care if I want to buy my friend this present for her birthday. Like, he cares about everything. And so that's just something this year I've really focused on, is bringing him into every detail of my life, and not saying, well, he can have church and he can have my ministry, but he can't have my schoolwork, or he can't have my future plans, but truly knowing that he cares about everything in my life, that he is my comforter. My favorite thing about the Bible, about God, is like all the names of God and what they all mean. I love studying that. I love knowing Jehovah Rapha, Jehovah Nisi, like Jehovah Jireh. Just, we have our singular name, but God has these Emmanuel, like everything, Alpha, Omega, beginning, and like he is everything. And so just getting each day, getting to discover and uncover him just a little bit more.
Yeah.
This is a fun one. So what was your favorite, like, big memory from 2025?
Favorite big memory? Where'd you put that one?
It's above. Oh, it's under. Oh, I can't find it now. Oh, under the best piece of advice.
I got moment of wonder.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Is it under that one?
What did you
she
learn?
didn't get that one.
No.
I texted it to you, I promise.
I know, I copied and pasted.
It's okay. It's okay. Well,
Okay.
I'll share my memory, and then you try to think of one. So I actually had a really hard time figuring out what my favorite memory was. And then while I was doing this, God told me that a favorite, like, memory didn't come straight to my mind, but he was like, Gracyn, every time that you go into my house is a memory. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's so true. And so I don't wish that I had a favorite memory, but I wish I had one that could come to mind right away. But I would say my favorite memory is every time that I go to church, every time I step into the house of God, the joy. And now that the community that we have, it's just, I used to dread going to church, but now it's like, I'm so on fire and so excited for everything that God is doing, that every favorite memory is built upon what I've done at church, what I've done at youth group, spending time in the Word and with God. Those have beyond. I wish I had like a funny story, but that's beyond has been my favorite memory.
Yeah. I'm gonna feed off, and I'm gonna go every time I spend time with my family, and like just seeing them all the time, and the conversations that we have, the deep moments, and just the fun times. I mean, we have a great time. It is so fun when you get all of us together, and you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I feel like God just puts those people in your lives to build you up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm feeding off of this same moment in this year, but whenever everything was happening, we had 18 people staying at our house.
Yeah.
18 people. And the amount of love and yet the laughter
and the joy
that we had, it was so amazing. And it just felt so comforting. Yeah. But I mean, those were probably my favorite memories, my favorite moments. Is anytime that I'm with my family, because I feel like that just brings God joy into it. Awesome.
I remember when your mom had passed and I came over to your house, and I felt like it. I felt like I could not like laugh or couldn't not have this like joy. And I went in there and I was like, it's going to be sad and it's going to be disappointing, but the amount of joy that your family brought and all of the, I would just say the peace that you guys had, it was just so cool to see. But your family is like no other. It is amazing. It is so fun to hang around.
I remember when you walked in, and I think I didn't smile, but I just kind of greeted you, and you were already kind of crying. Yeah. And then we walk into the living room, and your dad's already there. Yeah. And then of course Joel is there, and that just kind of helps it. Yeah. But yeah, and then about 2 minutes later, we were already dying laughing. Yeah. And but it was just great.
Yeah, for sure. And then also, part of this year that has been so great is you went off to college, and I was like, I'm never gonna see her again. And then she was here a lot, and I feel like I saw her more now than I did when you lived here, which is so funny. But
yes.
Okay, I got a few more. This one should be under I don't know what do you feel like you could improve on when you go into 2026?
Okay, and I feel like this is something that everybody can improve on, is getting in the Word more.
Oh, that was mine. Oh gosh.
Oh my gosh. High five for that.
Reading my Bible more. Yes.
Because it's just something so simple, but yet so important.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's so important. And I feel like you can never get into the Word too much.
No.
And enough, yes.
Yeah.
And so that is my goal, is to get into the Word more and do some more devotions. And luckily Christmas came around and I got some devotions that people gave me.
Oh, perfect.
Love it. Love devotional books because I can just read them. It's nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be my goal.
Yeah. So that was also my goal. This year I started off really strong, and then life got busy, life got crazy, and I just kind of fell off. And then I was able to go through Advent, which was really cool. Just getting to read the story of Jesus. But this year I bought a Bible, except it's not layered. It's not set up like regular Bible. It's set up like it's called a Bible in 1 year, but it looks like a real Bible. And so when I read it, I'm going to read through Genesis, but it's in chronological order as a Bible instead of like an Old Testament. So that's my goal this year, is to read the Bible in a year, which is a big undertaking, I feel like, especially starting physical therapy school or pre-physical therapy and stuff like that. Just some crazy stuff, but I'm going to be super intentional. I'm like, if I can scroll for an hour and a half, I can read my Bible for 20 minutes. And so that's something I really want to improve on this year, is reading my Bible more and being more intentional with my faith, being more intentional of the time that I spent, the more intentional time that I spend watching movies or scrolling TikTok, or sometimes even hanging out with my friends. Just being like God first before anything.
And if at all, like now that you're probably going to Evangel, you are, then we're only like 2 hours away.
Oh, look at that.
So weekend coffee dates with Bibles.
With Bibles. That's the best date, guys.
It's the best time.
Like,
I love this.
When looking for guys, if they're not going to go on Bible dates with you, then it's a no. Okay. Like, the answer is no. Still looking for that guy. I mean, you got it, but it's good. It's good.
He's great.
If only. I sent her an Instagram the other day, an Instagram reel, and it was like, is it even a friendship if one girl doesn't have a consistent relationship and the other one can't hold one? Which I'm not trying to, but it's just, I saw that and I was like, literally us all the time. And it was funny. I went over to the house the other day, and her boyfriend was there, and he was like, why do you always send barf emojis when she talks about me? And I was like, it's fine. I don't hate you. I swear, I don't hate you. I just really like my friend.
And she's like, I already have like my maid of honor speech for you guys' wedding. Like,
I don't hate you. I promise. Okay. 2 more questions. The first one is, what do you feel like you did well?
I did very well on not getting really angry with God.
That's so good.
I never, of course there were times where I was upset.
Yeah.
And, I was maybe a little mad, but I was never angry with him.
Yeah.
Because I just knew it was his plan.
Yeah.
And who knows, like, what could have happened before and everything. Like, God's plan for you is so good, and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But I felt like I did so good on not getting angry with him with everything that was going on.
Yeah.
Like volleyball wise, and like my situations at home. Like, I felt like I could trust him.
Yeah, that's really good. 10 out of 10. I feel like this is what I was going to say for you. But when tragedy strikes, a lot of times people fall off the wagon and they get really angry with God, or they give up on their faith. And that is not what I saw from you. The way that you clung to God, the way that you held on to him even tighter, and just totally were all in with his plan for your life. And just the crazy thing is, it's human nature when you go through bad things to blame God, but honestly, when you go through bad things and cling on to God, it makes it a lot easier. And so what a great testimony to see that you didn't give up on God, and that you held on to God, and he restored you and healed you. And so that is so amazing. For me, things I felt like I did well was, I felt this year I stepped out of my comfort zone of my faith and really trusted God with what he had. I felt that this year I was bolder than I usually have been. I felt like I was consistent with being consistent on TikTok, posting about Jesus, but also consistent on the podcast. And I've seen the growth from both of those. But just honestly, my word this year was behold the Lord. And I feel like I'm not trying to be like self-righteous or anything, but I'm proud of myself because I feel like I did a really good job on that. Just who I was in 2024 would not compare to who I am in 2025. But that is all a God thing. And going all in, being gung-ho for Jesus. And that honestly has changed my life. Like the things that I've done well this year, while I did have big failures, knowing that God was able to work through those failures, and that I was able to do all of these things well.
Yeah.
Okay, the last question and the biggest question that everyone's probably wondering is, what are your goals and your visions for 2026?
Okay, so goals is to get more into the Word.
Yes, we did that. Yeah,
we did that one. Visions is to praise Him no matter what,
that's
in
good.
everything through life, and get back on the court. I need to get back on the court because I want to play, and I want to play for His glory, and I feel like I have I don't know. I feel like I love playing for Him, and when I don't play for Him, I feel lost.
Yeah.
And so I want to get back on the court. I had, injury. I redshirted, so getting back has been a little bit rocky.
Yeah.
But we are at the turning point where I can get back on the court.
Yeah,
that is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
Big goals. Yeah.
Big goals.
Big. And God's going to be in that vision and that goal. He doesn't give you a dream for you not to dream it. Like your dreams are not wasted. Your visions and your excitement for the future God has blessed you with those. And so don't allow anyone to take those away. Yeah. So my goals and visions for 2026, every year I pick a word. For the past 3 or 4 years, I make a vision board with like a big word in the middle. This year was behold. The other years I had like intentional, perspective. I think those are the ones I had. But this year I'm still praying for a word, kind of playing around with that. But big goals and my big visions for this year, obviously I'm going to start college, do big things. I'm ready to get excited to get plugged into a new church and just seeing how I can serve there. But my biggest goal is to find a godly community around. I have that here at home, but as we move into the future and things change, I really want to find those people, find my people, find how God wants to bless me. And then finally, big goals obviously is to keep doing work toward wonder, keep finding places to preach, keep finding, waiting for God to open doors, being consistent. That's another one. But those are my goals and visions for 2026. Obviously, the normals like work out, drink water, get enough sleep, clean my room, make my bed, all of those visions. But honestly, if I could say anything about 2026 is just continuing to follow in the plan, in the path that God has for me. For sure.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, that was all that we had for this podcast. Just in awe again of everything that God has done this year, in awe of how He has blessed us, how He has worked through us. We had some really hard times, as you have kind of heard. We've had some really great times, and just the peace that God has given us. Like this year, I went through a medical scare, a pretty big medical scare, and lots of sitting out of sports and doctor's appointments and things like that, medication, like all this crazy stuff. Like medical scares were crazy. We had a lot of loss. I don't know. I guess it's just as you get older, I feel like we're losing so many of the people I love. And I have attended more funerals this year than I've ever in my entire life. And it was hard. And painful things happened, betrayal happened, disappointment happened, but none of that changed who God was. None of that changed who God is to me. And I feel like you've really made it in your faith when you can go through times and you fully trust and depend on God. That doesn't mean that we didn't feel sadness or anger or frustration. It doesn't mean we didn't slip and fall and say things we weren't supposed to or sin in certain ways. And God was there to pick us right back up. And when we came running back to the Father, He held us in wide open arms. But the successes we've had, the joy that was in every moment. It's just so amazing as I was making these questions and thinking about them, just reflecting on the year, going back through old photos and stuff, like, wow, the ways God has moved, but also, wow, how things have changed.
Yeah.
And some things changed for the better, and some things, what felt like was for the worse, ended up being for good. And just remembering that God uses everything for your good and his glory. And so thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the support and everything. If you guys want to comment down below, what was your biggest accomplishment of 2025? And then what are you looking forward to in 2026? We cannot wait. So it is December 31st is when this is coming out. So happy New Year's Eve. I hope and I pray that you are sitting down with God and making a vision for the future. Something without vision, you can't expect something if you don't have a plan for it. Just kind of like we talked about, faith without works is dead. My old pastor was really clung onto vision and the vision that God has for you. And so I just pray that you would look into that. Ask God, what do you have for me in 2026? And see what God won't do through you. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Have the best new year, and I can't wait to see what God does in your life. Bye, guys.